You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Road transfer, Black and White Sports 2. Well, I wanted a reason to be able to talk about the Trey Lance trade. I did put a video up on our Newsbreak app, over on our Newsbreak channel, about this trade last night because we covered Texas sports over there. And Trey Lance got traded to the Cowboys. Now, John and myself and Mick Walsh, we all had a lengthy conversation about Trey Lance and where that trade in NFL history lies as one of the worst ever, maybe the worst draft day trade in the history of football. I mean, it turned into a disaster. You know, also, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, the only reason, let's be real, it's a fireable trade. Maybe the most fireable trade ever. But they can't obviously fire him because Kyle Shanahan's a really damn good coach. We know pretty much that really wasn't his draft pick. Now, could John Lynch end up getting the door at some point over that? I don't know. But the team is very lucky from a personnel standpoint. The leadership, they're very lucky because they're not going to lose their gigs because they win ball games. All right? But it was a hell of a bad decision. And so I'm getting to make this video now and talk about this trade because there was another suitor for Trey Lance. The Buffalo Bills made an offer for Trey Lance, and the Cowboys were very aggressive about getting Trey Lance. Now, you know, I kind of don't understand this from a Cowboy standpoint because, number one, Cooper Rush is what? A top 3 to 5 backup quarterback in all of the NFL? I mean, isn't he exactly what you want to be? You bring him in, you go 4-1, stabilizes, keeps the ship afloat, doesn't have these massively horrible turnovers, this, that, and the other, okay? Just what you want out of a backup. Some argue that Cooper Rush has some starting potential. The other issue I see with Trey Lance going to the Cowboys is the fact that they are also, just like the 49ers when they drafted him, they are also in a win-now mode. They're in a Super Bowl or bust mode. They cannot put Trey Lance on the field and sacrifice their season to develop him. It was the exact problem with the Niners having really drafted a quarterback, period, in this Super Bowl window. All right? And my God, I mean, we talked about yesterday how many Pro Bowl picks they passed up on, guys that will go to the Hall of Fame eventually in that draft where they took Trey Lance. So, let's look at this. By the way, this is what John Lynch just said. On the 24th, 49ers GM John Lynch says quarterback is, quote, most likely to stay this season. I mean, you know, and I was listening to Middlecoff and Haberman about Trey Lance and the Sam Darnold thing, and one of their sources basically told them this has been a done deal for a long time. Michael Lombardi has been very vocal that Trey Lance was QB3 for weeks now, that he knew it to be so. Sam Darnold had already won the job. All right? And so, I don't know. It's very interesting. But here we are. The Buffalo Bills tried to get Trey Lance themselves, and the Cowboys were aggressive. We're also going to take a look at why Trey Lance was just a horrible idea. Like, I don't understand Adam Peters, John Lynch, I'm assuming Jed York, trying to influence Kyle Shanahan so much in getting him. We're going to look at a former Jet scout, his draft grade on Trey Lance. He had him as an undrafted free agent. He said he was undraftable. And he also included in there, I would not sign him as an undrafted free agent. He just thought the potential to become a good NFL quarterback, according to the former Jet scout, was not there. You want to talk about a hell of a whiff from not really an NFL quarterback, period, and a first-round pick. That's a hell of a big gap. The Buffalo Bills apparently saw a potential suitor to serve as a potential new backup to quarterback Josh Allen, but the Dallas Cowboys swooped in instead. Per reports Friday from Kim Inman of the San Jose Mercury East Bay Times, wow, y'all added a lot to that, the Bills made a trade offer to the 49ers for Trey Lance before the Cowboys traded for him Friday in exchange for a fourth-round pick. Lance, the number 3 overall pick in the 2021 draft out of North Dakota State, was recently announced as the third quarterback on the depth chart. He was immediately thrust into trade rumors and seemed to grab Buffalo's attention as a result. Look, a lot of people believe Trey Lance, and, he left, right? And the other day when he found out he didn't even win the QB2 job, a lot of people believe Trey Lance just said, look, or his agent said, look, get me out of here. Get me out of here. But according to Niners general manager John Lynch himself, the Cowboys apparently just wanted Lance more. It's possible that Bills general manager Beane was not willing to offer anything higher than a fifth-round pick, and the 49ers took the best trade on the table. Well, this is a couple of things happened here. Number one, this tells you how much the 49ers were actually out on Trey Lance ever becoming anything. They traded him to a rival inside the same conference when they could have shipped him to the Buffalo Bills. All right? So that just tells you all you need to know. They don't believe this kid can play NFL quarterback. They're telling you this. All right? And this also tells you, I don't know what the Cowboys are thinking. Because the presumed value, or the presumed, I guess what the trade value was for Lance, many believed was anywhere from a 6th round, 7th round, or you can't trade him. All right? 6th round or 7th round pick. And the fact that the Cowboys went all the way up and gave them a 4th round pick, that's the other reason the 49ers were willing to trade him inside of conference. Because, hell yeah, I'd have shipped him to the Cowboys for a 4th round pick. If somebody offered a 4th round pick for Trey Lance, you better pull their hand off their arm, shaking the hand to make the deal. Dallas stepped up and really wanted him. They came after him, he said. I think it's going to be a great landing spot for him. Trey's story is still very much unwritten. Lance started last season as a 49er starter, but suffered a season-ending injury in Week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. Regardless, the Niners advanced to the NFC Championship game. He goes on to talk about his career stats. We know they're not good. 5 TDs, 3 interceptions. I got his stats up right here. 54.9% completion, 797 yards. Yes, he's only played in 4 games. Well, he's played in 8 games, but he started 4. God, guys, that tells you all you need to know. That they did not want to see any more out of him than this, and they didn't want to blow an entire season, which does raise the question, why the hell did you draft a quarterback anyway? All right, for a Super Bowl-ready team, you don't put a rookie quarterback in there unless the kid is Patrick Mahomes, and guess what? The Chiefs didn't even do that. They played Alex Smith. So I've always said the problem with drafting Trey Lance was the following. This is his college games played. He barely played as a freshman, literally had 1 pass attempt. Then he played a full 2019 16-game season. And 28 touchdowns, 0 picks. That's pretty remarkable. It is. And then, of course, COVID happened, and he played in what can only be deemed as sort of an exhibition game. But it does kind of tell you something. 15 for 30 for a 50% completion percentage. He did not play in enough games substantially. 17 college games. I'm not drafting him. Okay? I'm not drafting him. I know that teams do draft 1-year quarterback starters. I would not do it. This is Patrick Mahomes, who so many in the Niners supposedly thought that's who they were getting. I don't know how. But look at this. I mean, Patrick Mahomes played in 32 college games. 32. Twice as many as Trey Lance. He had 1,349 pass attempts. Trey Lance had 318. He had 1,000 more pass attempts than, and we're talking, I mean, 2 of those seasons, they're full starting seasons. He's racking up yards like it's going out of style. Patrick Mahomes, that is. Aiden O'Connell, who we all think, and we've seen in the preseason, he looks like a potential starter in the NFL. He does. He looks like a potential starter. Well, let's just look. He started 33 college games. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He started 33 college games. 16 more games than Trey Lance. That's a lot more data. 1,238 pass attempts. Again, it's just a lot more data. Dak Prescott. All right, we're dropping down into the 3rd and 4th rounds here. All right, with Aiden O'Connell, Dak was a 4th-round pick at 135. 1,169 attempts in college. Played in a shit ton of games. A shit ton of games. I mean, let's just look right quick. Let's just look. I mean, Dak Prescott played in 49 games in college. 49 games. Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way, played in 45. And I just, I brought that up because it did not make sense that they took this player. It never did. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't know, frankly, what Dallas is saying. This is from NFL Draft Diamonds, and this is from March 22nd, 2021. This is what this guy said. Former NFL scout says, quote, any GM considering Trey Lance in the 1st round should be fired on the spot. I mean, top 10 concerns. 1, lack of experience running an NFL pro-style offense. 2, lack of feel for the pass rush. We've seen that's been an issue. He takes too many sacks and losses. That's an issue. He does not throw the ball away in those situations. 4, tendency to lock in with receivers, telegraph throws. Average NFL arm. Look, there was a time they sold us that he had this gun. He doesn't. He's got an average arm, and he's not fast. He's not a mobile quarterback. He's not. He's not quick. Sometimes too hesitant before pulling the trigger. 7, struggles with accuracy, ball placement at intermediate and deep route levels. Well, he's not very good at short and intermediate passes either. Does not seem to know how to slide when he's running with the ball. Average playing speed when running the ball. There it is right there. Did not dominate on film at a smaller school level. Did not dominate. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. By the way, this former Jets scout, he had a undrafted free agent grade. And also said if he was a GM, he actually wouldn't sign him as an undrafted free agent. It was a disastrous pick. I don't really know what was in Buffalo's head either. Maybe Buffalo was willing to let Kyle Allen and Matt Barkley go, or one of the two as a backup. I would assume Brandon Allen will be the 3rd QB with the Niners. If they choose to keep one, they better. in their situation with quarterbacks, their history, they better probably keep 3. But my God, that book with the Niners, it was a disastrous trade. Normally, there would be a clean house situation. But there's not, because they win games. Understandable. There's been some good picks in there. Do I think John Lynch could eventually be a scapegoat? You get out. Adam Peters gets promoted into that spot, which he's been he's supposedly been a favorite for years to get a GM job, yet he doesn't have one. I don't know what's going on with that either. That's weird to me. Tell me what you think. Buffalo wanted Trey Lance. Dallas aggressively wanted Trey Lance. Question is, why? It's the exact same situation the Niners got. It makes no sense. They got a good NFL starting quarterback. They got one of the best backups in the league. Well, Sam Darnold's one of the best backups in the league now. Borderline starter. Cooper Rush might be a borderline starter. And that puts Trey Lance third. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. The guy's never going to see the field. I don't get it. I can't imagine, because if Dallas was to cut Cooper Rush, shit, people would be all over him, All over him. Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports 2 supporters, peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.